So for the next project, we're going to go full Illustrator. So for the last project, we started in Illustrator, did a little bit of Photoshop at the end. I wanted to create a little bit of transition between the two projects, and I felt like it was just enough basic Illustrator skills to kind of refresh our memory without having to do those little like tutorials again. So what I like to do before we get like too deep into Illustrator is something I started last year, and it's a Lego person. So I have the Padlet from last year of like what actual students made in the class. And the idea is this: I'm going to give you a document I already made of a Lego person. So I traced it in Illustrator, and you can tell this guy I did in green so you could see he's different. And isn't he cute? And you could change the face however you want. That's going to be the fun part. You're going to make your Lego person into whoever, or famous or not famous, whoever you want them to be. Um, and the goal of this assignment is to teach you how to make shapes that aren't just squares, circles, rectangles, ones that are a little bit trickier. And thankfully, the Lego person isn't like too intense. So we know how to make basic squares and rectangles, but I'll show you how to round the edges. We'll review how to make like bend a line with a little bit of a smile or a frown, depends on what you want your person to feel like. How to combine two shapes together, that can be a little tricky. When we make those little claw hands, we actually use a few different shapes and like subtract a shape. So those tend to be the trickiest ones. The legs and the feet are pretty straightforward because they're just plain old rectangles. So the fun part of today is like coming up with your Lego person design. So let's talk about some from last year because, to be honest, they all turned out really nicely. And when you look at them, what are some of the personalities perhaps you see? Or perhaps their occupation or their interest? Oh, go ahead, him. Okay, kind of looks like a construction worker. Yeah, you've got Spider Man at the bottom. Okay, so let's go with that one. How do we know it's Spider Man? Yeah, definitely that costume appearance on his face, the red with the certain lines and like the web effect. Okay, so we want to create like a really simple effect to try and match a certain type of character or person we know of. The student who did these two, he had a leather jacket and he had like a chain. He graduated, but he wanted to make two versions, so he made like one of himself, and then he made like a Spider-Man version and copy and pasted most of the outfit over, which was funny. Someone wanted to make one of the Nintends from Nintendo. That was cute. This was supposed to be Jack Black from School of Rock, which I thought was really funny. Like, if you've seen School of Rock, like, right? Like, what about him looks like Jack Black, though? The hair, yeah, that kind of like long hair. Yeah. So we're looking at like someone's appearance, and perhaps like their hair includes their appearance, and perhaps like their expression too, which I thought that was really good for Jack Black because he kind of has that kind of funny look. He's known for. I don't know if there's any Breaking Bad fans there, but this was supposed to be Heisenberg from Breaking Bad with his little chemicals here. And this is Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad, so they were trying to create the characters from there. I told them that Kyle Makrolakis made that. I think it was Aaron Judge. I think he just went with like a very heavy beard on that though. Yeah, so those turned out really funny too. So it's pretty interesting to see how it's like really basic shapes, but you can go in with a lot of detail. Like really intense cargo pants are actually pretty easy to make on here. Another cute little Spider-Man here. I forgot we had two Spider-Mans. This was a girl, she tried to do self portrait, and that was actually really good because her hair was really blue at the time, so it worked out really well. This girl tried to go with Marilyn Monroe, which was cute, but a Lego person isn't very, kind of has a different shape than Marilyn Monroe, but I thought that worked out really well too. And this one was just like a plain self portrait. So after looking at these, some of the more interesting ones have a little bit more detail to it. So our job today is to like come up with a design for our Lego person. So everyone's going to get one like this outline. You're going to get the Lego person template. I printed it out, but it's just blank, like a pretty coloring book page, which is nice. And you're going to design your Lego person of choice. Could be a famous person. I also recommend Googling Lego people because they have like a million out there, which is awesome. You could base your design on one of those. I'm open to that too. It's totally up to you. Famous person, friend, yourself. As long as it's not offensive, school appropriate, I'm totally open to it. The project's going to be worth a little bit less because, we're trying to really master our skills at creating our shapes. So it's going to be 60 points. We should be able to finish it way before the break. And I'm going to give you all of today to work on your sketches. And you only need to make one sketch coloring book page, which is nice. And I'll have it due on Thursday since I don't see you tomorrow. Okay. Any other questions coming to mind at the moment? Okay, lovely. Just make sure you check out the project outline before we get rolling. Just kind of gives you a list of all the things we're going to make. And you'll see it 60 points with our grading at the bottom. Okay. Do we have any questions coming to mind at the moment? Okay. I'll pass out this sheet. You could start to draw your person. I have extra copies too. And then I'm going to pass out, I'll leave colored pencils up here. I'll leave markers. You could use whichever ones you want. And you're also going to color in your sketch for your Lego person. This will be a very small grade, about 20 points. So that will be due by Thursday. Questions so far? Lovely.